mood. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Guggs and I post Talk Tuesday videos every single week in which I ponder the subconscious mind and talk about topics that society usually does not talk about. So if you're interested in topics like that, please hit that subscribe button. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a pretty interesting topic. It is the sunk cost fallacy. What is a sunk cost fallacy and why are we talking about it? Sunk cost fallacy is pretty much when you've already invested either time or money into something or some activity and it no longer has rational incentive for you to continue. However, because you have already invested time and money, you continue to do it. The reason I am talking about this is because this comes into play in all areas of your life, whether it be education, professional, or personal. Every single time you put an effort into something, it's like a human nature thing that at one point in our life, we were very invested in this certain activity or career path or hobby or whatever it was, and we feel the need to continue doing it, even though it no longer serves you purpose in that moment and for future benefit. Why do we do this? Is it because we're humans and we are driven by emotion? Because we will feel guilt? I'm gonna be really real with you guys. For most people, this is seen in like their career. You put in a year or you put in 2 years into your degree, or you have been at your job for a couple of years and you notice that you no longer want to be there or you want to try something else. That's when the human emotions come into play. And that's when you start hearing everyone say, what? You can't just give up. You can't just not continue with this. And you're just kind of stuck and you're like, yeah, you know what? At one point in my life, I wanted to do this and therefore I must continue. But if you really think about it, that's not a rational way of living life. If it's not going to benefit your future, why would you continue doing it? I have seen this happen too many times. People have gotten married to the wrong people. You stay with someone who's not good for you for so long just because you got married to them and you put in the money and you had a wedding. And it's like, what? This ties in so well to my channel because in my channel I talk about manifestation and meditation and living in the present moment. We need to understand that as humans that need to grow, things are gonna change. Your likings and dislikings are gonna change. Maybe you no longer like what you chose to do as a career path, and I'm here to tell you that is okay. Everyone in your life may not be telling you that. Maybe there's pressure in your life from your parents or if you have other responsibilities, and I hear you and I totally get it. But if you have the opportunity to change something in your life, but the only thing holding you back from doing so is the sunk cost fallacy, in where you're like, oh, you know what? I have invested time and money into this. I might as well just keep going. That is so irrational, and that is not the best way to make any sort of decision. If you were a CEO of a company, the company would fail. Think of yourself as a nation, care about yourself, and be like, is this a good decision? Should I continue on with this if it's affecting my day-to-day being, affecting my mental health? If it's not worth it anymore, drop it. But what is the point of talking about this and making you aware of it if I don't give you tips on how you can handle it? Next segment is tips and tricks on how you can get rid of the sunk cost fallacy that has been instilled in you from childhood. Tip number 1, grab a piece of paper, write down what it is that you want right now in life. It's very simple. What are your goals? Not only is this activity good for manifesting your goals, but it's also really good to see if there is a goal that you want to attain. Is everything that you're doing right now gonna help you reach that goal? If you start to notice a lot of clutter, you want something but you're not actually physically doing something in real time in this dimension to make it happen, there you go. There is some sunk cost fallacy stuff that is happening in your life. What are you holding on to? Why are you holding on to it? I can't speak on what these things could be. This will not be easy to do. My channel is not all about light. It's about realistic ways of reaching your higher self. So this is kind of like shadow work. Shadow work is pretty much just things that you might not want to face, your inner demons, things that are keeping you back. Tip number 2, self-care. Now, these two, first tip and this tip, they're very similar and they go hand in hand. Each of us have a voice in ourselves that have been hushed from childhood. It's this intuition. It's an intuitive voice that pretty much tells you when things are right and when things are wrong. But we live in a society where people are the ones telling us and dictating what's right and what's wrong. So we no longer need that voice for survival purposes. Therefore, it has been hushed. When you spend time meditating, manifesting, journaling, and just self-care in general, you resurface that voice in you. And that voice in you is pretty much your subconscious voice, and it is all-knowing, and it's something that none of us have really conquered, and it's kind of hard. I'm also trying to listen to that voice, and sometimes it's really hush. It's not a voice that talks to you. It's not like, hey, I'm here. It's more like intuitive feelings and intuition and kind of like random thoughts that come into your head. That stuff is real. So you really want to listen to your intuition during this whole process, and that's how you get rid of the sunk cost fallacy. What you're really doing when you spend time taking care of yourself, you are making that voice louder. You are allowing yourself to be who you are, and who you are is pretty much just dormant right now in all of us. And some of you guys might be doing exactly what you want to be doing in life, and for that I applaud you. That's amazing. But for a lot of us, including myself, we have not been in that state, and we've just been kind of doing what everyone else has been wanting us to do under like societal pressures. So this is something that I'm also working on. So self-care is so important. Tip number 3, meditation. I know I kind of already touched on this in the self-care segment, but if you haven't already jumped on this meditation bandwagon thing that's been happening, please do. There's a reason for it. If you just set aside 10 to 15 minutes every single day and you meditate, wonders will happen. I'm not sitting here telling you exactly what to do and what not to do and what you're gonna receive. Pretty much, I'm just talking to you guys about realizations that I am having in my life, and I want to share it because there are so many people that don't have people close to them that are gonna ever tell them things like, hey, are you actually happy? People aren't gonna ask you that. A lot of people are like that, and including myself. That's why I'm letting you guys know every single video that you guys really need to start meditating. I'm not gonna force anyone anything that they don't want to do, but meditation is something y'all gotta hop on. Like, I don't know how to say it better than that. Sunk cost fallacy has a lot of personal attachment stuck to it. As I already mentioned, it's human emotion. But at the end of the day, think about this. Is your happiness really happy? This is something that kind of helped me figure out if I'm happy or not. When I worked a corporate job, if I got stuff done in a day and I felt good about myself, is that fictional happiness or is that real happiness? And I soon noticed that it's not real happiness. Real happiness is not a tangible thing. It's not something that you run after. Real happiness is like an internal feeling that stays. It is your state of being. You don't need to suffer. You really don't. And when you feel that real happiness, everything starts falling into place. So doing these tips and applying these will help you get your life exactly where you want it. Call it spiritual enlightenment, call it learning, call it just being a human, whatever you want to call it. I just want you guys to have all the resources that I have currently, and I want to share them with you guys and create a great community. I really hope that these tips help you guys. I hope you do take time for self-care in general. Even if it's not to think about sunk cost fallacy, you should always take time for self-care and start meditating at your own pace. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you find these tips helpful, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Aside from that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I will see you guys next video.